Namaskar and welcome everyone. I am privileged to get this opportunity to speak about my journey of Raál and how Raál can impact one's career growth and professional life, much in the same way that it has impacted and benefited me. This is a beautiful and unique gift that has been bestowed upon all those lucky enough to stumble upon it. Now, before we begin, for a moment, let us imagine a work situation. It is a brainstorming session, and you have to pitch your ideas along with the others. You enter the meeting room. It is full of people, your colleagues, of course. Imagine now that if you are at your natural best, you are just flowing, the thoughts are flowing, you are connecting with the audience. You are articulating your ideas and points clearly. It is making absolute sense and you have everyone's rapt attention. And voila, they just agree with you. You have their complete buy-in. Your idea just won. Can you make this happen and make it happen multiple times, not just in one meeting? The answer is yes. Yes, if you are on the right path. Now, most of us have to do something to earn a living, and we have all chosen our own careers. We either are getting started in our professional journeys, or are in flourishing careers, or have reached the pinnacle, or at some other stage within this spectrum. And constantly we think about how can we excel, how can we grow, and what do we want to achieve. According to Maitreya ji, our enlightened guru, greatness is achieved by paying attention to the small things of everyday life. Sounds simple enough, but how many of us actually do it? Today, people live in a gross world with superfluous thought processes, and many may be weak mentally, emotionally, and internally who rise to events that glorify only short-term attainment. In this fast-paced world where people neither have internal nor external freedom, where thoughts, views, and understanding is influenced by the media or irrelevant logic and short-sightedness, can you have a balanced mind and be consciously aware? Can you be courageous and confident in everything that you do? Have clarity of thought and exercise good judgment? Can you make good decisions? Our life is a sum total of the choices we make and its outcomes. So how can we make decisions that keep us on a path that is most natural to us, a path that we are meant to be on? We constantly come across many books, lots of free-flowing knowledge and wisdom, many formulas for success, many practical tips, tools, and techniques. We experiment with many things to better ourselves at what we do, and we try to find those one or two things that can work for us. After going through some of this search and quest myself, I stumbled upon this hidden jewel, the revealed science and technique of Raál. Raál, as we know, is the path of light. Ra meaning light and Al meaning the way. It is a revealed science that connects one with the light of truth that lies within each one of us. A science that has existed through the ages and kept alive through a few bearers of light. Raál has its core within the realm of energy and consciousness that allows one to become creative and focused to lead a meaningful life, both personal and professional. Raál is not a concept of philosophy, but it is an experience that allows one to truly connect to the divine energy of cosmic truth, thereby gaining the grace and a deeper connection. Since Raál at its core is consciousness, it transcends religion, caste, creed, and culture. It is an easy and simple process. It is a connection to the supreme consciousness, and those who continue the practice find changes happening within, allowing one to transcend negative and blocking habits in day-to-day life. Its balancing nature allows a practitioner to have cordial family, social, and professional relations. How and why? How does this happen? Because the energy is working through your consciousness. And that consciousness is allowing you to connect to everything around you, be it your job or family or friends or colleagues. Now, how can you transform your professional life? How can you attain that career growth that you aspire for? Is there something that can work with you, making sure that all the hard work you're putting in pays off? Yes, through the practice of the meditative technique of Raál. Remember the meeting scenario where you got everyone's buy-in that I just spoke of? How does that happen? It can happen if you are connected to your consciousness in the right manner, if there is the right flow of energy. Because your consciousness is your captain, it is your compass, it is allowing you to connect to the job at hand and help it go right. Your consciousness is tuned in with you. And how can you connect to your own consciousness? Again, to the religious practice of this technique called Raál. So here are some traits of Raál that one can imbibe, and through practice, it can become a part of you naturally. Involvement. Raál allows one to open up to discuss issues head-on with constructive inputs. This is because Raál allows one to work on deeper aspects that involve energy and consciousness with relation to matter. Now, at work, you have your priorities, you have goals, you have tasks, deadlines, projects, and deliverables. You need to be committed. Now, this is at the surface, at the gross level. But if you go deeper, at the level of yourself, you have your personal career goals, like becoming a VP in 5 years, growing your business, becoming an entrepreneur, so on and so forth. So you ask yourself if you're happy in your job on this path. Will your goal be fulfilled? Are you on the right path? Now, this is your topmost priority, and at your innermost level, this is a priority for your own conscious. And if you know this and if you connect to this, it translates into productivity and eventual success. Your mind becomes focused and there is involvement. You connect to what you're doing. You can make any number of sacrifices then. You are in complete alignment and everything is synchronized. You can adapt at many levels. Depending on your position, you're either driving your team as a leader or you're contributing your maximum as a team member. And this paves the path for success. But if you don't know your own priority or if you are not connected to it, you keep bouncing around or floundering. And also remember that you have other priorities, not just work-related, personal and family level priorities. For instance, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, a daughter-in-law, a business owner, a boss, and I'm actively involved in a few industrial and social organizations, not to mention being a Raál mentor. Now, all these roles have their own priorities, and all of these have to be in sync. All priorities have to be connected and need to work together like a well-oiled machine because I am a single entity. Now, Raál helps in creating this connection between the various priorities and keeps it going so that you can function successfully in all of the roles that you play. It keeps working even as priorities evolve with time. That is the beauty of this path. Of course, at all times, your free will is functioning and it is up to you to exercise the right judgment and make the right choices and decisions. Nothing comes in the way of your own free will. Next comes collectivism and teamwork. Raál works on the pure concept of collectivism and connectivity. It provides the ability to connect with every living and non-living entity in the most natural manner, simply because we are a part of a larger order of things at the cosmic level. It allows us to be open, People who walk on the path of Raál realize it is not a process of patting the back or creation of self-congratulatory or complimentary packs or teams. Raál allows one to realize that instead of creating controversy or gossiping or even forcing their own ideas on others, one should focus on self-evolution and expression of help. It allows one to share one's experience, but more importantly, it allows one to relate, connect, and expand, enabling collective success and evolution. Creates avenues for others to know and realize what you know. And as we all know, in a work environment, only teamwork leads to success. Being here and now. Raál can enable one to express the most logical thing at the right moment of time, helping them succeed. Being in the here and now in the most natural manner. For instance, say a team member or manager provides a solution or makes a decision that makes the entire project succeed, will automatically bring him or her success. The rest of the team will naturally rally behind that person. So it helps one become aware of the surrounding and find ways to make it better. Realism. Today, we are in an environment and time when people have larger than life desires, whether or not it is feasible. That removes the realism. It is not about being optimistic or pessimistic, but about being realistic. Realism has vanished or diminished because emotional strength has reduced drastically. People who walk on the path of Raál always avoid any path of conspiracies, for they follow a path of truth. Even those who have earlier walked on the path of conspiracy will find transformation happening within once they walk the path of the revealed truth of Raál, to be as realistic as possible to create the right growth path for you. Emotional acceptance and intelligence. Our personality is driven by our emotion. At workplaces, there is a lot of weightage to emotion, whether we acknowledge it or not. The prevalent thought today is that women leaders are better due to their high emotional quotient and adaptability quotient. Of course, I feel it has nothing to do with gender, but has everything to do with the individual. For instance, take young adults today, college students or young professionals. There is a projection of maturity. Most of them know a lot and express a lot because of the amount of knowledge available to them. On the face of it, they come across as mature individuals. But is it really there? Do they have enough experiences? The emotional intelligence and weightage needs to build through experiences, which comes as you move forward. Now, Raál helps you hone your emotional intelligence. The path of Raál breaks one free from the artificial emotional aspects and thick-skinned nature to realize the beauty of becoming humane. That is the key, becoming humane. The path of Raál allows one to realize how much negative and harming forces one is constantly generating through the path accepted as normal by the world. It instead provides an avenue for one to enact the role provided to them in the most natural manner. And finally, consistency. The path of Raál allows one to become consistent and go deeper within oneself. This consistency and depth allows one to realize the truth, which in turn allows one to make lesser mistakes, for it allows one to realize the purpose and goals in life in a much clearer fashion. The path of Raál creates a depth that does not allow one to betray anyone who trusts them and not cheat one's own conscience. This is growth of an individual at the deepest levels. So, to experience growth that you desire, be it in your career or in life, Maitreyaji's words of advice are: never to go by hearsay, tradition, rumors, axioms, or dogmas. Never to go by the biased rendering of knowledge or information. or the blocked view of truth and facts. Instead, one can change and bring about change through the practice of self-introspection, analyzing objectively, love, fine-tuning, envisaging, encouraging, and monitoring or self-assessment. The cornerstones of success are acceptance and humility. As Maitreya says, one who is humble is accepted, and one who is accepted is humble. And every situation that is resolved leads to better confidence and laser-sharp concentration, which will undoubtedly lead to success. For me personally, in my professional and personal journey, after Raál came into my life, doors and opportunities just opened up. It all happened naturally and effortlessly. I experienced tremendous business growth, validation, and acknowledgement from the industry that I work in. Stagnation was removed. I couldn't put my finger on it initially, couldn't attribute it to anything in particular, but I knew that something was right and that I just had to go with the flow. I knew that I just had to let it happen and rise to the opportunities. And that's what I did. The practice of Raál and all its grace and blessings has helped me become unbiased and objective on many fronts. It has enabled me to gain that clarity of thought and judgment. Of course, I have a long way to go, but I know that I'm on the right path. Ultimately, Raál has the power to enable the smooth flow of energy within you, allowing you to delve deep within yourself to understand your goal and purpose in the most natural manner, to connect to your consciousness and expand. I thank Maitreya for reviving this ancient truth that is so well suited for modern living. I thank him for empowering and enabling me to become a Raál mentor. And I, in turn, invite you to become a part of Soul Searchers and experience the beauty and benefits of Raál that one can practice anytime and anywhere. It is a science of energy, matter, and consciousness that is non-religious and practical for you and everyone you know. Thank you and namaskar.